Alex Jones is like this conspiracy theorist, right? And when I told everybody QAnon was a bunch of nonsense, it was like Alex Jones said it yesterday. He's like, I told you guys, it didn't make any sense.
Again, but Alex Jones, you're in for a penny, in for a pound. Because then if he's right on that, is he right on the fourth dimensional beings?
I don't know. Joe talks about this.
Is he right on the
acid
interdimensional
trips
beings?
And all that nonsense.
Does the governor of Virginia really harvest kidneys from babies?
I'm sick of the baby. Gotta make the baby comfortable.
I mean, right? Do you really want to know all that stuff?
I don't know.
Because then you decide if you actually have a conscience or not.
Yeah.
Because if it's all true and you know and you do nothing, then the number one sin in the Jewish religion is that of a witness. The greatest sin in Judaism is that of a witness. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like you did not take action when there was a wrong happening.
Gotcha.
You are a witness. That is a sin.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, so whatever. Hey, everyone. Happy days here.
What are we happy about?
Eddie, not listening to Alex Jones.
It's the baby. Gotta make the baby. Gotta make the baby comfortable. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, Google Alex Jones and who was it? It was the governor?
I think it was Virginia.
Governor of Virginia?
Yeah.
It's this whole abortion thing.
Oh, my God.
That was like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Welcome to the election edition. Everything's the election edition until Tuesday.
Right.
And then it'll be the election edition for another 70 days.
So let's talk about investing in Texas and what happens because that guffaw that – are we recording? Oh, let's go.
We'll fire it up.
Yeah, let's go.
Welcome to the show, folks. Jason Bible, Robert Orfino, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. If you're listening to us in California, New Jersey, New York, you're probably wondering why are we listening to Texas guys here?
Yeah.
Because you can actually make money here.
Yes, because you can put all your money here.
Yeah, it's opposed to Southern California or New York and Jersey real estate right now. It's just
or Robin Hood or any of that.
Yeah,
nonsense
Robin Hood nonsense
Gold.
or any of that.
Yeah.
So, in any case, looky here. I actually have some emails I got to answer regarding this commercial deal we're doing. It looks like the Phase 1 guys already sent me an email. So, yeah, we're talking about investors investing in real estate, talking about the election. It's pretty exciting. We really are just looking for an excuse to have a party on a Tuesday night, on a school night.
Yeah. I'm thinking.
Brian and I are dressing up, by the way. He's picked his character. I got to pick mine for the election.
So I've ordered the shield.
The face shield for the party?
I'm going to wear the face shield for the party and my mask.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to have to – because you guys have got a crazy party on Saturday night.
That party's going to be
And then there's going to be election party here.
There's going to be a lot of potential COVID exposure.
So I'm absolutely – I'm unfortunately, Brian, I am not going to be attending the party. It is too bad. It is absolutely too bad for me.
No, that's just good because then those pictures won't surface 10 years from now.
That's not so. Yeah,
I just put those.
I've got the pictures from 20 years ago. I'm worried about. So
I just put everything on Facebook and let the chips sort itself out.
Let it all sort itself out. So we have to. But I'm down to Corpus this weekend. Sorry. So we'll do through that. I'm definitely going to wear the mask around here because I don't think I think I can pull down my mask but still have the shield when we're kind of walking around. And I might just I like the ones like back when it was originally starting and people were putting garbage bags.
Oh, I love
clear
that.
garbage bags on the airplane and just walking around like this, trying to protect yourself.
Should I do pork butt again? Should we smoke a little meat there on the smoke? I got 4 pounds sitting at home. I'm probably going to do that this weekend.
Yeah.
But
where do we find a good jalapeno sausage to buy? You got to go out to.
Prasex is pretty good. Chapel Hill is probably the best. I'd love to see you guys put in best sausage recommendations. It's going to be that's local. Is going to be Chapel Hill.
Yeah, great.
But they sell it here. I think they sell it at HEB. So
yeah,
totally
that's what I'm saying. We just figure that out.
There's a place down in Alvin, but we'd have to buy it there. I can't remember Froberg Farms. There's a barbecue guy there.
Well, you're going to be coming back Monday if everything's working out. So do you want to swing through Alvin and pick it up?
I could.
You could do that.
Oh yeah, it'd be great. He does a jalapeno and cheese sausage that is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Absolutely ridiculous.
I really appreciated those. So, guys, if you are listening from the tri-state area, or if you're listening from California, it's because you can invest here and do very, very well. And today we're going to do investing in Texas with a little election spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, what does it mean if you invest in Texas and Trump is president again? Not much.
Yeah, nothing.
It's pretty good. It's pretty solid. Everything is going to go through. We're fine. There's no threat to the 1031, so it'll be wide open on that. There's no. I would say I would assume that opportunity zones will be expanded in the second term.
Somebody asked me about opportunity zones the other day, and I'm like, I thought all that ended.
Well, it's hard because there's a clock on it.
Like, I thought the opportunity zones, you had to already establish the fund. You had to have been collecting money. Like, I thought the start of the opportunity zones, like, if you haven't already done it, you can't start one.
Yeah,
I could totally be wrong.
I thought there was some timing with it. It was just one of those things that I chose not to educate myself on.
Yeah.
And it was all floating out there, and everyone was saying, do it. And I'm like, I've got this. Right?
Yeah.
This is hard enough.
Yeah.
So I don't need to figure out opportunities.
We're sitting in our 30,000 square foot
our building, our 270 units, and we're buying a storage unit. I'll figure that out, right?
Yeah.
I don't need to figure out some hypothetical whether it might be good for me, and then I've got to go recruit grandma out of San Diego to invest. So I didn't do the opportunity zone. So I know nothing of it.
Well, that's kind of like when guys start quizzing me about 1031s, and I'm like, hey, man, we're still in the building phase.
Right.
I'm not 1031ing $2 or $3 million from one project to the next right now. In fact, Rob and I's ultimate goal. Now, we'll do that at some point as we'll leverage up into assets that we're going to keep long term.
Sure.
But the reality is for us, we just will end up paying stuff off. I mean, it's just that's kind of our goal. It's not to leverage and at least in what we're doing now.
No, we want free and clear.
Yeah, free and clear. So it's like you want to get in this kind of discussion about 1031 exchanges and all that. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, we'll do some in the future, but it's kind of like I was chatting with one of our late private lenders. It was the last lunch I had with him before he passed. And he was talking to me about IRA investing. This guy's extremely sophisticated. He said, Jason, do you do anything in your IRA? I said, I really don't because I'm 42. And he laughed. He's an attorney and a CPA. And he laughed. He goes, yeah, they'll change the law 7 times before you get to retirement.
Yeah.
I said, exactly. So it's hard for me. I said, I could start it any day. Literally, we have so much deal flow. It's not that big a deal. But I said, I also don't want to get to a point where it's in there, then they change something, and now I've got this money locked up, and I got to pay taxes on. Like, it puts too much burden on me. Now I've got to be cognizant of what the next law is and the next change. And I'm like, for me right now, it's growing our portfolio and our fund and growing you and I's personal portfolio. And outside of that, I'm like, I'm just not interested in making this real complicated.
Yep. So I think under Trump, it's business as usual.
Business as usual. Yep.
And again, I don't think there's a threat to the 1031. I don't think there'll be any of that. I think there'll be some expansion of opportunity zones, and there may be some other stimuli that will come through. But I don't think it'll be too much. So I think if you see Trump, then I think you're going to come to Texas and put all your money here as possible. When we come back from the break, we'll talk a little bit about Biden. But so far, it's looking like it might be a Biden victory. That oil guffaw, that whole little I'm going to take us off oil, has absolutely hurt him in Pennsylvania. I am seeing the trend closing in Pennsylvania. I think that is absolutely because of that statement during the debate.
So I will say, I last night again sat down, read, went through the numbers, did some analysis. If he wins Pennsylvania, he's got a real shot at winning. If he doesn't, I don't think he wins.
Biden?
No.
Trump?
Trump.
Oh, it's all Pennsylvania.
It's all Pennsylvania.
Yeah. There's no other real path to the White House because Michigan and Minnesota aren't going that way.
Well, so here's the problem.
You can tell me about 2016 polls all you want, right?
So here's the problem. Pennsylvania is very similar to a handful of other states that he's got to get anyway.
Yep.
But if he doesn't get Pennsylvania, he
Ohio,
doesn't get those
Iowa,
other
North
states.
Carolina, yeah.
Like, he doesn't have a shot at them, right? So if you can't win Pennsylvania, you're not going to win these. So everybody has people are now messaging me like all day, every day. Like, you really think Biden can win? I'm like, dude, you have no idea how close this is.
I think he's winning.
So I'll tell you right now, Go back and look. There's an article Washington Post put out. And I get it. Oh, it's owned by Bezos, and it's don't believe it. Okay, you can put your head in the sand. I really don't care. Trump won in 2016 by 80,000 votes.
Yeah, about that, 60, 80, yep. Mm-hmm.
And he won by like 0.2%, 0.5, and 0.7.
Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so it's 80,000 votes, guys. It's not, oh, yeah, there's all these great rallies. Yeah, I go down to Surfside, and there's a rally every weekend, right? The boat parade, there's a truck parade. But that ain't Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
and
there's
we don't
gonna
matter
be a Christmas
here.
parade, too, and a Thanksgiving parade.
Right,
I mean,
yeah. I mean,
I get it. Just don't mistake that enthusiasm for boredom, right?
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Right.
That enthusiasm is because they're bored.
Right, because they're bored.
So I'm like, Pennsylvania is where it all starts. I was actually doing some reading on when those polls are going to close, when they count the ballots and all that. But I'm like, if he wins that, he's got a real shot, like 30, 40% of winning the presidency. But if he doesn't, it's over.
Yeah.
So election night's going to be a heck of a lot of fun here at the Texas Real Estate Center.
Yeah, hey, guys, we'll be back from the break. Thank you very much. This is Jason and Robert. This is Mr. Texas Real Estate, Texas Real Estate Radio Network.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Yeah, so Pennsylvania is tightening, and I don't know if it's just undecideds breaking the normal way, but it got a little tight over the last 72 hours. And then again, I don't know if that's just because of there's Republican favored polls. Real Clear average. The problem with that, the Real Clear politics, is they just take the average. They don't weight the polls upon accuracy, right? Mm-hmm. Which is what 538 does.
That's actually a good point. If you go into the individual polls, you know what's crazy? 538 ranks Fox News polls A+. Is that crazy or what? I was going through
But no, that's polls. Right, and ABC as well. So here's the thing. I'm looking at Pennsylvania. Fox News has Biden up by 5. This Insider Advantage poll, which I've never heard of in my life, has got Trump up by 2.
Right.
Right? So who do you believe, right? Who's got a better track record?
But what I think's so funny is, look, it's real obvious who 538 is. It's real obvious who ABC is.
Yep.
But for them to rank Fox News as A+ in a lot of their polling, I was like, you know what? I don't see that liberal bias in these polls. If they're saying Fox News is doing one of the best jobs polling, I'm like,
yeah. And the ABC does a great job, and Monmouth University does a great job, and Quinnipiac does a great job. I mean, they're all rated. You can go right on 538 and see the ratings, right? And just look at the A rating and higher.
Yeah.
And that's kind of who I've been looking at.
So another one I looked at is everyone keeps saying, well, Telfer, whatever his name is, who got it right last time, is saying that Trump's going to win. And I'm like, well, I looked at Pennsylvania. They have it as a tie right now.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I'm like.
But so that's the problem is if he's right, he's right, right? Mm-hmm. But if he's Republican leaning on the poll,
right,
then
the oversampling, right?
Then he's oversampling, and he's adjusting, saying, I have not talked to enough uneducated, and I hate when we say uneducated, non-college whites,
right?
So therefore, I'm going to skew my sample, right? You can play those games within the margins, and so therefore they put that up on Real Clear Politics, and it drops the average.
Yeah.
Right? So now if you look at that and the difference between that and Fox News, then you say Biden's up by 2.5.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it is. We're ready to go whenever you are. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Robert and Jason here from Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Hey, guys, you want to reach out to us about our mastermind, about investing, any of that stuff that we're working on. You got a deal you want to sell? We'll take a look at it. Easiest way is going to be to text us at 281-401-9008. That's 281-401-9008. So we're looking at investing here in Texas and what happens, depending on what side of that. It's kind of a side of that, what presidency is going to be. Is it going to be a Biden presidency? Is it going to be a Trump presidency? And with Trump, we think it'll probably be business as usual, maybe a few more opportunity zones. But Biden has some very specific things, and the Democrats in general have been talking about a lot of very specific things that would be a disadvantage for real estate investors. The number one is going to be the 1031 exchange elimination. Now, I've always had a problem with the 1031, Jason,
Why is that?
because I think it's subsidies for rich people. And here's why.
Well, what's wrong with that? We're rich people.
Right. Well, I told you.
Wait, whoa, listen.
When we get to next Tuesday, I'll tell you who I voted for
Okay.
in a roundabout way. But the issue is because it's 180 days, you really are not there's no deals for a 1031 person needs to buy a commercial property, right?
No, let me
That
pull
doesn't
up.
happen. So what happens is they wind up overpaying.
Yes.
So they overpay, which therefore inflates the market. And so all of a sudden, you've got this little tax diversion that is artificially inflating commercial property.
I agree to that.
And because of that, because it's basically a tax subsidy, right? It really skews the marketplace. And so it's got two things wrong with it. One, it stops people paying from taxes, and I am all about people paying their taxes as much whatever you have to do, fairly. And two, it artificially inflates values in our properties.
Well, here's the way I look. Let's talk about what a 1031 is.
And I'm going to tell you, I think that's what happened in Dallas about 4 years ago. I think there was a ton of 1031 went to Dallas. Yep.
So here's the problem I have is the people who tout the 1031 exchange, it's just a means to defer your capital gains taxes
Till you're
into the
dead.
future, right?
Yeah. And then some.
And then some, right? So, however, no one talks about the real issue. Everyone talks about income taxes, sales tax, and all that other stuff. I think capital gains taxes are criminal. I really do. You have already paid taxes on that money.
I agree. I do not believe in a capital gains tax.
So get rid of the 1031. Get rid of the capital gains tax.
I would be 1,000% agreeable to that.
This whole idea, I'll tell you right now, and don't get me wrong, I love our partners that do self-directed IRAs and all that.
Yeah.
But I think all of that should go by the wayside.
Really?
I don't think you should have to. We have to set up a special retirement vehicle to
yeah.
avoid a tax.
Yeah.
Why don't we just get rid of the damn tax?
I agree.
Instead of setting up all these self-directed
Right.
IRA companies, all this other crap, why don't we just go right at the problem?
Yeah.
Get rid of the capital gains
As
tax.
long as the investment's in the United States, I have no problem. If you're taking a Roth and investing in other countries, then I think there should be a tax on it. I want the money to stay here.
Well, you know what? You make a damn good point, right?
This is where you made the money. Why would you take it out?
Why would you take it out?
Yeah.
You make a good point there. So
Yeah, I have no problem. That would be awesome to get rid of both.
just get rid of all of it.
Yeah.
Why do we have retirement accounts? Because you don't want to pay taxes. So is the problem is the retirement account the problem? No, it's you don't want to pay capital gains tax. So get rid of the tax.
Well, the real problem is we're just not working these old people long enough.
That's true.
That's the problem. We started living longer, and then all
Yeah,
of a sudden,
because we need to go. If you guys, y'all didn't hear this because I didn't put it on Facebook. We need to go back to smoking.
Yeah.
People are living way too long. we need
way
to go back
too
to smoking.
long. Yes.
That was our lunchtime discussion yesterday. If I was going to do a PhD program, I wanted my dissertation on the benefits,
The impact of smoking.
yeah,
and not
the impact,
smoking. Yeah,
the
of the
financial
economy.
impact of smoking cessation program.
Wow, you're right.
And compare it to
Yeah.
how that's impacted.
I'd say environmental laws and just the fact that we don't test nuclear weapons openly anymore I'm sure has helped us out.
There's some pluses there,
Yeah.
maybe some minuses too. But in any case, I just thought, it's so funny. It's like we spend all this time, and a lot of you engineer types out there love this kind of stuff. How do I not pay taxes? How do I hide money from the government? Learning all that stuff doesn't make you wealthy. Oh, I know that went over like a lead balloon, right? Because they're not, no, Jason, you don't understand. It makes me wealthy. No, it doesn't. You know what makes you wealthy? Figuring out how to buy the next deal.
Yes.
Figuring out how to raise money to structure another deal.
Yes.
Saving on taxes is defense.
There was a weird thing and again, most of the 1031 people I see are, north of 70, right?
Oh, yeah.
And there's such a fear about taxes.
Dude, you're 70.
Right. I'm like, what are you worried about, man? So I will absolutely, and the capital gains tax is a waste because it all comes back to the economy anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very majority, like less than 8% of the people can absolutely set up these family trusts to keep and avoid it. It all goes back. The grandchildren spend all the money.
Yeah. Oh, well, let's get into that. But you know what the real joke is? Like, I'm reading all the Biden stuff, and all these people on Facebook are just exploding, right? For incomes above $400,000. and there's some stuff in there for ultra wealth tax and some of this other stuff.
Sure.
And I've been so tempted to post. How many of you fit into any of these groups? In fact, how many of you actually pay taxes? Because I know a lot of these guys. I'm like, y'all don't pay taxes. Right. So why do you care?
It's a straw man argument.
It's
just something.
It's like, well, who cares?
Yeah.
The other thing is I hear a lot of people talk about the Laffer Curve. And the Laffer Curve is you get the tax rate to a certain percentage, people pay less taxes.
Yep.
Well, who's really paying taxes? It's rich guys, right?
Sure.
So all we do is just divert our funds to somewhere else to when the next administration is in, and then we just sell those assets, take our gains in when our basis is when our total tax burden is lower. So I'm like, when all you guys are debating all this tax law stuff, I don't care, because all it does is make a small change in our investment strategy.
And I agree 1,000%. And you know, I would rather see us on a consumption tax.
Yeah,
because then I don't have. Hey man, if I want to go buy a big yacht, I'll buy a big yacht. I don't care.
Why? Let me explain to you why a consumption tax makes so much more sense. Because it taxes foreign goods in the United States.
Yes.
So, not a VAT tax. A value-added tax is different. That's what they have in Europe.
No.
And I think it's like 17, 18% in Europe. The consumption tax makes a lot of sense because we are the largest marketplace in the world.
Yep.
And the burden for taxes is just not on the American citizens. It's in all of commerce that occurs inside the United States. Yeah. A consumption tax makes a ton of sense. Yep. There'll be a little bit of chaos in the real estate and the
financial markets.
Financial market,
Yep.
automobile market. I mean, those are going to be auto industry is going to be kind of a mess.
Yep.
But it'll take a year to work through. But it would be absolutely phenomenal. It makes a lot more sense than income taxes.
Yeah, I think you really just and I don't think you're going to see that challenge taken on by either president.
None of these guys.
Either one of these guys want to go for it.
No,
right?
I'll tell you what that is. That's Newt Gingrich too, and Contract for America too, because it's got to come through Congress.
Yeah, for sure.
And you got to have a supermajority to cram it through.
Yeah, and not willing to.
Nobody's willing to do that.
Right, because everyone's worried about re-election because of the way the other system's set up. We'll get back and we'll expand more on the Biden stuff. So the 1031 might go away under Biden. Again, hey guys, this is Robert Jason with Mr. Texas Real Estate. Check out our website. MRTXRE.com. That's MR as in Mr. TX is in Texas. RE is in realestate.com. MRTXRE.com. We're adding a few things on there. I was kind of shocked. We got one of our biggest listeners who didn't even know we had a Patreon account.
What?
So we got to work that a little bit on that website. So you'll see some updates coming in. But for now, Robert and Jason, we'll be right back. I'm getting a lot of guys, so if you guys are online, thank you very much for watching us. Hopefully you're all on YouTube. See a lot of the comments coming through on YouTube. We have a Patreon account, and A-Rock's going to go ahead and put it up in the comments here in a little bit. But, I was on the phone with a guy today who said, hey, I want to send you some deals. How do I send it? So I called him up and gave him your email address directly. And he said, man, I really missed the classes. I want to get back to it and all this stuff. I'm like, it's all online, dude. It's $25.
It's $25 a month, man.
He's like, I didn't know. I'm like, yeah, it's Patreon/MRTXRE.
Maybe I need to send an email out to everybody and say it's $25 a month.
It's $25. What are you waiting for? Yeah.
We got to make you pay it a year in advance. We didn't do that. You could log in, pay $25, watch all of our content in one day, and then cancel.
Yeah. People will do that. So
I know they'll totally do that.
But I'm very slow to release it. It's.
Oh, okay.
So only maximum 3 pieces of content a month. And so,
that's funny.
So we'll keep doing that, and we got to re-record some of the classes because Zoom dropped it. So we've got a lot of good stuff coming up. We got a lot of relevant information coming up. We're gonna have to redo some of the classes, so we'll make sure we update them before we do them. So that'll be good. They'll be ready for 2021. And so we want to make sure that you're checking out our Patreon account. Again, it's $25, fairly simple. Get access to everything, and then we send you. I think we're sending like $100 a year in banner season stuff.
Oh, you guys are
mugs and candies and cookies and all that other stuff. So, you're gonna get some bonuses back on that stuff. So we do appreciate you guys checking that out. It's our Patreon account, and that's something that hopefully our new marketing manager will help us develop.
Perfect. We get back from break. I want to talk about Christmas movies. I had a debate last night about Christmas movies. Movies you watch during Christmas. We're getting there. It's October.
Die Hard.
Of course.
Yeah.
person I was telling this to thought I was crazy. I'm like, Die Hard.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you got there, A? Oh, you're just showing us the.
Yeah, sure.
Dude, so I saw an 82-inch screen. Let me go to this.
Oof.
Too big? $1,500.
Too expensive.
As we're about to drop 10 grand in these four walls right here.
Well, yeah, but come on, man.
Let's see here. All right, you want to light us back up there, A-Rock?
Okay.
All right, welcome back, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. We are looking at outfitting our studio. Here's a Sony 65-inch for $600. We just need something in here.
Yeah, I'll do that. That's fine. Yep.
So, anyways, we're looking at TV. We have an order sitting there with Sweetwater for like $7 grand of stuff to upgrade the studio. But
is that on Amazon?
I'm on Slick Deals.
Okay.
So I just go to Slick Deals, click on TVs, and I just go through it.
Okay,
And then you can click on the thread, and all the TV nerds will start to be, oh, well, this one does this, and this one does that. And you're like, I don't care. Is this a good deal for $600? That's all I need to know. They're like, it's not quite as good as the one I bought last year for $650.
Nope,
and I'm
didn't
like,
ask that.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't even ask. I just read the nerds going back and forth. So, Christmas movies.
That was a good nerd impersonation.
Gosh. I'll start making fun of our numbers guys. Jason, you don't understand. It might be the AC. So there's a lot of characters in here. You guys will see as we get all this stuff kicked off.
Not on the regular channel. We're gonna
Not on the regular channel.
Real Estate Guys on.
We're gonna do a Saved by the Bell reboot.
Have fun with that.
In our cafeteria before we start the rehab because it's got all that '90s stuff.
Yeah.
And we got the stairwell to slide down.
Yeah, there you go.
It's gonna be pretty wicked. It's gonna be sweet. So we were talking about Christmas movies last night. Die Hard is a Christmas movie I watch every year. That's probably high on everybody's list.
Yeah.
Surviving the Christmas party at Nakatomi Plaza. Mm-hmm. Like somebody asked me, like, why is it a Christmas party? Or why is it a Christmas movie? Because I said the movie starts at a work Christmas party.
Yeah, of course.
Like the craziest one ever.
Yeah.
It's not just like inappropriate office relations and drugs and being drunk because that's what happens in that
part
movie.
Part of it too, yeah.
But it turns into a hostage takeover with bearer bonds.
Yeah.
Bearer bonds are my favorite. That's like totally 80s. Bearer bonds, crazy Christmas party, goofy suits that don't fit right because the guy's wearing probably like a $10,000 suit. It doesn't look right. What else in that movie? H&K MP9s everywhere, which are one of my favorite guns to shoot.
Right, and
They're
the
all
overall
over the movie.
arching theme is that Japan was invading American real estate, right?
That's right. If you guys remember when they bought the Sears Tower and everyone's like,
I remember they bought the
America's
Empire State Building, right?
That's right. It was Empire State
Helmsley,
Building.
yeah.
Yeah, it was like, oh my gosh, the America's dying, Japan's taking over. I'm like, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
They're not having enough kids.
Send them more. We love for them to come back and buy more.
That's right. And then, of course, one of my favorites, Mixed Nuts with Steve Martin. If you've not seen that, it's good. Happens right during Christmas time. He runs a suicide helpline.
I've never seen that.
Oh, it's great. Jon Stewart's in it.
I like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That's a good
That's
holiday
not
movie.
bad. That is a holiday movie. Yeah.
No, I'm a big Rankin and Bass claymation. I love all of them.
That's fun.
Love all those guys. Little Drummer Boy still makes me get a little tear in my eye.
Oh, look at there.
Yeah.
Rudolph.
Yeah, absolutely. Toy Misfit Island of Misfit Toys. Yep. Byron said, "Hey, are you ready for the Mandalorian?" I'm probably holding off on that. That might be a Thanksgiving weekend.
Is the new season out?
It's coming out. I think the 31st or the 30th.
Okay.
I think it's coming out like in the next few days if it's not already. I haven't watched The Boys, and I won't watch The Mandalorian. That would be binge watching in Corpus because we're going to Corpus for Thanksgiving.
I tried watching The Boys, and I was like, it's a little, it's a long, and it's a little like. One of the things I found with Hollywood, at least the last probably 5 to 10 years, is it all comes out so try hard. Like we're really trying to make this ironic, right? It's like it's just so. It's not subtle and it's not clever.
Not at all. No.
And there's a way you could do that where it's kind of subtle and clever and funny.
Yeah, I thought the Umbrella Academy was okay.
I'm trying to remember.
Did you see A-Rock? Did you see the Umbrella Academy? Yeah, I would watch that.
Yeah.
That's a little clever.
Yeah.
It's a little clever there, yeah. It's also another comic book stuff.
Because see, Marvel even makes fun of themselves, right? Which is kind of funny. But these guys just kind of like they.
I'm waiting for the Wheel of Time. Should
Yeah.
be less than a year. That'll be my jam.
Are they filming now?
They are, and they got an exemption by the Czech Republic to continue through the second wave of COVID.
Really?
Because they promised to isolate the entire. There's 500 people isolated amongst 3 sets.
That's crazy.
They're locked down like the NBA. They cannot come in or out. Hands off deliveries, right? Deliveries are dropped in the truck.
Yeah.
They go in, they decontaminate it, and they take the stuff off the truck.
I've got. I was looking at doing a trip just for grins. I was like, "What's it cost to go to Paris?" And I started looking at, the trip's not that expensive. Like
It's quarantine.
And then I was like, I started looking it all up a week and a half ago, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, geez, it's a total mess right now.
Yeah, quarantine
So,
stuff.
and it's probably going to be like that for another year.
Yep.
I mean, this is going to be the way of life for at least another year.
For sure.
So, and I know everyone keeps saying, well, after the election, I'm like, you really think this is going to abate after the election, even if Biden comes in?
No.
They keep thinking like, oh, well, and then
That nonsense. I mean, that bothers me. What he's saying out there, the president's saying about, because it's just misconstrued. That's the problem is, it's just misconstrued, right? Like he potentially is creating super. I mean, there's a lot of people at these events that are side by side without wearing masks, and it's like, I get it. And I think a lot of people think, well, if the president survived it, I can survive. It's like, let me explain this to you. You're not getting those therapeutics that he got. You're not getting that treatment, brother.
Let me explain to you the type of stuff he got. It's so experimental. They only gave it to him.
Yeah. You're not getting any of that stuff.
Yeah, I feel great. Yeah, they put the craziest of the crazy stuff in you, dude.
It's not good. You're going to be lying on your belly, having trouble breathing with, diarrhea running down your legs.
They gave him the experimental plasma, as he likes to put it, with the T cells in it. So you can't even get that.
I'm
regardless of how much money you got.
How long before we find out the truth of how scared they were for him?
It will come out in some documentary years from now.
How terrified they actually were that this guy.
Well, not only that, but how bad it was for him. He was at Walter Reed in less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
They saw something
on
that was
oxygen.
not good.
When I said on oxygen, it's like that could mean a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
That could be through your nose or down your throat.
Right.
Right?
And if you saw those videos of him from Walter Reed, I mean, he's not a guy that wears a button-up shirt without a tie on it.
Right.
The guy's always in a tie and a suit.
Oh, my God. And he did not.
Looked horrible.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
And that wasn't because he didn't have his makeup on.
So
we'll find out that it was much worse than everybody thought.
And, again, correlation is not causation, but Montana has the highest spikes, and, oh, by chance, it is the state that wears the least amount of masks.
Yeah, well.
40% of the population of Montana are not wearing masks.
Well, they don't live next to each other. It's fine.
I get it, but they've got to go to the co-ops. They've got to go to the auctions. They go to the restaurants, and that's, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, this will be interesting to see. I'm excited about election night. I want to watch it all unfold.
I always get excited around elections because it's America. It's our democracy. It is what it is. And they're talking about, hey, there could be civil unrest. I'm like,
yeah,
could be.
Why not?
But the militia that we're worried about in Kansas has 80 members.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. I mean that was all highlighted. Like they're at the polling place. It's like, and here's the leader, and it's like, we have about 83 people. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
come on.
83 people that can't run up a set of stairs. I keep hearing about this Civil War, and I'm like, none of these guys can run up I don't care how many guns you have. You can't run up a set of stairs.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's Zombieland, right?
Oh, cardio.
Rule 1, cardio.
Cardio. I'm in a bunch of these men's, like, there are a couple
Civil
of them
War, Rule 1,
I'm
cardio.
in a couple of these men's fitness groups, and it's so funny because a lot of these guys are just jacked, right? I mean, they're swole, ripped, and all that stuff. And but they can't run a mile. And I'm like,
yeah, cardio. Hey, guys, we're going to come back from the break. It's Robert and Jason. This is Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. So we'll be back. Right. You shouldn't be buying AR-15s. You need to be buying treadmills right now.
yeah, you need a treadmill.
Yeah. Anything that doesn't physically abuse you. Hey guys, if you are interested in renting any of our Airbnb properties down at the beach, we have 50% off right now. So if you want to come down and check them out, we've actually booked 3 of the 6 for Thanksgiving.
Oh, really?
So people are coming in for Thanksgiving. I'm going to be at one myself, but I'll be in that private apartment we have upstairs. So that front unit's still available. And then the new one we bought on the beach is done, and then Ray's Way's done.
Oh, they already booked Ray's.
Yep,
huh?
booked for Thanksgiving.
That is the best. You can have a fire there.
Yep.
I mean, it's a fantastic beach house. I love it.
So, yeah, if you're interested, we're doing some. And then I don't know if anyone wants to do over the holidays or New Year's Eve, but if you're going to do New Year's Eve, let us know because we'll go in and decorate the house for you.
Oh.
We'll put a Christmas tree up and make sure there's firewood at Ray's Way. And,
Yeah.
Yep, that'll be good. Make sure to. We're going to have folks adding fire pits over the winter.
Oh, good.
So every house we have will have a little fire pit out back.
Fire pit out back. That'd be great.
Whatever, 15 feet off the building, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yep. Ready when you are, A-Rock. So anyway, just go ahead and text us 281-401-9008. Or just read the comments here. You're interested in one of those properties. We're doing 50% off the rack rate. Yeah, Byron, we'll just do 50% off the rack rate. Let us know. All right, we're going to finish up talking about real estate here during this segment. Again, for Biden, the 1031 might happen. But on the other side of it is the tax credit that they're talking about for folks that are first-time home buyers.
Yes, here's what let me pull that back up because the language around that thing is very interesting. Let's be honest. Most Americans don't pay income taxes.
True.
That's absolutely true, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
this tax credit, let me pull it up, the exact language they use. 15,000, let's see, first-time home buyer tax credit, Biden. This is what's really interesting. Oh, the Tax Policy Center just updated this 6 days ago.
Ooh.
All right, let's see here. Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden. By the way, I've noticed they don't say Joe Biden. Everyone says Joe Biden.
One word?
As fast as possible. It's one word.
Joe Biden.
One syllable.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Biden.
Joe Mama.
Yeah, has proposed a first-time home buyer or, quote, down payment tax credit of up to $15,000. Nice. While details are sparse, the idea of a tax credit to help new home buyers with their down payment makes a lot of sense. Okay. They call it he doesn't have the actual language in here. There's a term they use in here. They're calling this a subsidy, blah, 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 blah. What is he actually called? Rationales, it subsidizes. No, let me see if I can find this. It's in here it goes. Here's the actual press release in Housing Wire. Because they say something very interesting. First-time home buyer tax credit up to $15,000. Down payment assistance. Where does it say? There's a. All right, so a lot of people say, well, Jason, like this is unprecedented. It's crazy. Nope. Both the $7,500 first-time homebuyer tax credit in 2008, a bill signed by George W. Bush, and an $8,000 credit in 2009 signed by Barack Obama were aimed at stimulating sales in a depressed housing market. At the time the last credit was implemented, people weren't buying. Now they are buying houses like crazy, except the ones that are most hurt by the pandemic. It's targeted to the right group of people. All right, let me explain why this is really important. Oh, here we go. This is the actual language. Help families buy their first homes and build wealth by creating a new, refundable, advanceable tax credit of up to $15,000. That's what's different. Refundable, advanceable tax credit. So it's not like you would get the credit. The way I'm reading this, you wouldn't get the credit. You would get the credit at closing. It wouldn't come out on your taxes, and then essentially you get a $15,000 check, up to $15,000 check as a refund. The way this actually reads, it sounds like the government's writing checks at closing. But I don't, like I said, there's not a lot of details, but the way this is written in the press release from the campaign, that's what it sounds like.
So I think this ties into, why do I have to connect it, right? Biden did a really good speech yesterday in Atlanta. I don't know if you saw him down in Atlanta. It was really good. And one of the things he talked about to minority communities, people of color communities, is we want you to create wealth.
Yes.
Now, that goes all the way back to Biden's buddy, Jack Kemp.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Kemp was the HUD secretary, I believe, under Reagan.
Yep.
And one of the things that Kemp came to realize through numerous studies, because remember, in the 60s, there was this big thing like these co-op cities, this low-income housing. And they did study through the 60s and 70s that said when people own their own property, they take better care and they're better community members. And so the way to get people off of – because government housing was a big thing in the 70s.
Yeah.
We don't hear about it but that was a big thing. There was government housing. Like,
yes.
Those were the projects, right?
That's what they call the projects. Yeah.
And so his thing was we got to get them into their own houses. Mm-hmm. And so, there's some social experiments. These little row houses went up in Philadelphia, and they were able to give mortgages, and it worked. Mm-hmm. It was Jack Kemp and Reagan and that program that really did bring a good portion of, well, not a good portion, but a portion of minorities out of poverty and into the own wealth. If you just buy the house, right? Even if it's just a row house for $60,000 in 1980, that's good.
Well, I will tell you the first reason. Now, people will tell you this. Kiyosaki says this. Dave Ramsey says this. The house you live in is not an asset. Sort of.
Right.
It's technically a liability. I'm like, but for one simple fact, it places it turns your housing cost into a fixed cost, not a variable cost.
Yes.
What does that mean? If I go in and I get a 30-year mortgage on a $200,000 house, taxes, insurance, all that stuff in Texas is probably going to run you, let's call it $1,500 a month. Probably, maybe more, maybe less, whatever. Let's call it $1,500 a month. That $1,500 a month payment is static for the most part. Taxes, insurance will go up a little bit in perpetuity for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
You can have up to 10% increase.
It's a fixed cost. You don't have to worry about it.
It's a fixed cost.
But once it's paid off, it is an asset.
It is an asset, right? Yep. However, what they don't realize is like having that as a fixed expense for the next 30 years is a big deal because rents go up 10
years.
15, yeah, in 10 years.
It's
right?
a big deal. Yes.
So you can discount how much equity and you're going to move up and all that other stuff. But the reality is keeping your 30% of your income as a fixed cost and hopefully you begin to gain additional income is a really big deal in building wealth in a family.
For sure. So if that is something that comes through, and I don't know where that lies, that is something that I think is going to be good for the real estate market.
Yeah.
Right. So that, and then we'll definitely see tax credits for electric vehicles.
Yes. Which I really need them for this Tesla.
I think they're going to reset the button on that.
I hope they do.
That'll be a part of the stimulus.
And it better not be capped at like $100,000 car or something like that. It needs
well,
to be...
you still get the S, 69420.
Oh yeah. I guess I could.
Yeah. You can always buy and upgrade to two things, right? There's a way around those little things.
That's true, but I can't upgrade to the plaid.
You can't get the plaid. No.
Yeah.
You can't get that.
But I don't know. We got so sick driving the Performance last month that I don't know.
Do you need the plaid?
Do you really even need? That's the question I'm asking myself. Do I even need the Tesla Model S plaid? It's so ridiculous.
Right.
It is absolutely so ridiculous.
So again, as real estate investors, I think we're still in a good area. I think if you're a 1031 guy or gal, I think you have serious concerns if Biden comes in. And that would be the only thing in real estate that I could see. You can talk about social unrest and all that other stuff. I get all that. I get it. And there's always these trends within cities. They go up, they go down. It's never a straight shot.
If you don't want social unrest, don't live in a city. I think everyone kind of knows that.
Right. I mean, right.
Don't live in a city.
Right. It's not good. So that I think is the extent of real estate and tied to the presidency. Now, there's foreign policy. There's all this other stuff. Yeah, I get it. But as it directly impacts us, Trump is probably better than Biden.
I think the bigger thing is rent moratoriums. I think that's kind of the bigger.
That is huge.
Thing.
That is Congress. That is the Senate. I mean, I think the Democrats are going to own the Senate. I think that rent moratorium is going to be a huge problem. I think they're absolutely going to. I think within the first 90 days they're packing the court.
Oh, yeah.
They are absolutely putting a minimum of 2 more justices on the court. And it's the 2 that you owe me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're going to play that game.
Right? Yep.
80,420.
Oh, that's good.
That's not bad.
That's
for the
not bad.
long range.
And you get a five grand deduction on that tax credit. That's nice.
It's looking pretty good. It'd be here by, what did they say? Oh, 5 to 9 weeks. That's on an S. So they must be getting a lot of orders in.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you all very much for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. And we'll be back tomorrow night. This is Mr. Texas Real Estate.
Yes, your premium for the plat is 60 grand. 60 G's for 150 more miles, and
I'm not sure it's worth it, dude.
Yeah, after the price break, it might. I don't think it is.
At $81,000, is that including self-driving?
Yeah, that's everything.
I don't know how we don't all buy them.
Yeah, 80 G's.
Because what the fuck is the difference between the Model Y and that, right? 64,000 to 80,000?
Yeah, it's like 12.
That's a much bigger car, a much better car.
It rides with the air suspension alone. It's gorgeous.
I think we're all ordering Model S's.
You want the Y or the S?
Well, I think, I wanted the Y, yep.
Okay, let me look it up in the Y.
Oh, I got to go do the other podcasts.